Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? You know who this is, the chosen one, Gabriel Skywalker from the DFS Club, coming to you guys with the NFL main slate video. Happy Christmas weekend, guys. Hopefully, you guys are still having a good time. I know I am. I had a great Christmas day, great day today. And the holidays aren't over. We still got New Year's Eve coming up. We're gonna kick the crap out of 2020. We're gonna say goodbye. Nice knowing you. Move the hell on because we're ready for 2021, guys. Um, what was I gonna say? Anyways, it must not have been that important, but yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. That helps out my channel a lot, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Um, so let's get into before we get into it, guys. You know what it is, DFSclub.com. We still have our Christmas and New Year's deals up. Countdown is going down though, guys. You get every single sport, not just NFL. That would be just ridiculous. You get NBA, NFL, MLB, PGA, NHL, tennis, NASCAR, soccer, esports, MMA, WNBA, college sports, EuroLeague basketball. Click the join now button. Click on my logo, Skywalker DFS. Shout out to DFS Space, by the way. He joined us today in the members only chat. We did a live before lock for the NBA slate. And look at these prices, guys. Give me a break. Go to anybody else in the industry and ask if they can beat these. When they say not even close, come hit me up, guys, at dfsclub.com. Pick your plans. The cheapest in the business because we don't care. We're not in this to get rich, guys. We're in this to build a great DFS community because we love winning with everybody. So, dfsclub.com, guys. These prices are insane. Insane. Because you know what? We're insane. It's all good. All right. So, kind of a cut and dry slate. No one really stands out here. But we'll get into it. This is my sponsor, Draft Dashboard, guys, the best optimizer on the planet. You get NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL, guys. Click on the link in the description below. You yourself can have Draft Dashboard. You get access to all my saved lineups, all my player pools, guys, the lineup optimizer, everybody's favorite, the player trends, sleepers and studs, the position optimizer, and the NFL cheat sheet, guys. Because if you can't win, cheat. It's got the best studs, best mid-tier, best value. This is Draft Dashboard. All right, so let's get into it. Quarterbacks. So, of course, Patty Mahomes against Atlanta. This is the highest projected scoring game on the slate. So I will have tons of shares of it. I don't care how chalky it is. You're getting Patty Mahomes against the absolute worst defense in the league against quarterbacks, guys. 8.5K. What is he? Does he have a history on him? Nope, no history. But yeah, Atlanta's been giving it up like crazy, guys. 8.5, get him in there. I'd rather just get to Mahomes, but if you want to be contrarian, you can go Lamar Jackson at 8K. He'll probably be a lot lower owned, but just not as good of a matchup. But Lamar's been playing like old Lamar, so not bad. Jalen Hurts, I absolutely love this play too, man. I was telling my members last week, his price is going to skyrocket, and that's exactly what it did. 41 fantasy points last weekend. This kid is just getting better and better and better. Dual threat, guys, rushing, passing. He is definitely the future of this team, guys. But Jalen Hurts at 7K against Dallas, who's not very good defensively, guys. Get him in there. Next up, Baker Mayfield at 6-1. If you want to be really contrarian, right now at 2% ownership. He gets a good matchup against the Jets. Ranked 29th in the league against quarterbacks, guys. That's insane. So Baker Mayfield at 6-1. Right now at 2%, get him in there. Jared Goff, if you want to take some stabs, I think he's going to bounce back here against Seattle. After having 2 weeks in a row of only 16 fantasy points, I would not be surprised if Jared Goff breaks the damn slate. And right now at only 2% ownership, 5.9K is too cheap, guys. Jared Goff for GPPs, get him in there. Even Mitchell Trubisky this week against Jacksonville, ranked 30th in the league against quarterbacks. He's only 5.7. You know what you're going to get from Trubisky. Hopefully in this matchup, at least a minimal of 20 fantasy points is what you're looking at here. He's actually pretty chalky at 13%, so I mean, if he's super chalked like that, I'll fade him. I will easily fade him in GPPs and go somewhere else. But he is in play, definitely in play. And those are the quarterbacks I'm looking at. Herbert, not so much. I mean, I just rather get to these other guys. Like I said, this slate is pretty cut and dry. So let's go to running back. All right, so Nick Chubb is 7-8 this week. You know, when I play Nick Chubb, he gets me right in the old prison pocket. When I don't play him, he goes off. So play at your own risk. 7.8K going up against the Jets, who are actually kind of stingy against the rush. But if Chubb doesn't get you a touchdown, you're pretty much screwed. So very touchdown dependent, but Nick Chubb is always in play. 7.8K. David Montgomery, I'd rather get here at 7.7K. A lot better matchup. A lot more consistent. 32, 28, 27 fantasy points in his last three. 32 rushes last game, guys. Yes, David Montgomery, and at the beginning of the season, I never thought I'd be saying this, guys. Get him in there. Next up, Eckler at 7.6. Again, I'd rather just get the Montgomery. Miles Sanders just doesn't get enough touches. J.D. McKissic's okay, only if Antonio Gibson is out. Against Carolina, we've been just attacking them all year with running backs. But if Antonio Gibson's in at 6.6, I'd get him in there. If not, J.D. McKissic is just fine right here for 6.4. So DraftKings priced them both up to about the same. Whoever gets to start, roll them out there. Next up, Le'Veon Bell should get the starting duties. He's 5'8", so if you want to put him in a little KC stack, I think I might do so. Had 15 touches last week. No, Charles L. Eclair chocolates, say that fast 10 times, this week. So Le'Veon Bell should get the start, and 5'8" is decent value. Will be chalky, though. Melvin Gordon, 5'6", another one. So Philip Lindsay is out, so the backfield should be mostly his. And a 5.6K going up against the Chargers, not a bad matchup. So had 24 fantasy points last week on only 11 carries. That's great, man. Melvin Gordon, one of them sneaky running backs. You can get him in there. Giovanni Bernard has a great matchup against Houston. Otherwise, I wouldn't even mention him because he's so inconsistent. But 25 carries last week because we don't know who's going to be their quarterback from week to week, right? So they're going to look to hand the ball off a lot, especially right now with no quarterbacks to speak of. But Giovanni Bernard, you got that going for him, and the Houston defense ranked 31st in the league against running backs, guys. Giovanni Bernard, get him in there. Next up, I don't feel good about this one, but he's really cheap, guys. Malcolm Brown at 4K. It'll probably be a timeshare in the backfield this week. So Malcolm Brown should be second in the pecking order, but I think it's going to be a 50-50 with him and Darrell Henderson. So Darrell Henderson's actually 4.5. So I'd probably take more chances on Malcolm Brown, only in GPPs, and only if you're looking to really pay down at running back. I'd probably rather get to Gio Bernard, but he should be very low owned, guys. And I think that's going to do it for running back. Like I said, real cut and dry. Let's go to wide receiver. So we got some injuries this week. Tyreek Hill. Let's see what it says. He was limited in practice, so he should play, guys, at 9K. And a tremendous matchup against Atlanta. I don't see how you can fade him here. If he's healthy and he's a go, guys, get him in there. 7.7 for Allen Robinson is way too much. Keenan Allen, I just saw the news that Keenan Allen is not going to play. So no Keenan Allen this week. So that should open up some value. Robert Woods at 7K is a great play. Always between him and Cooper Kupp. I always go Robert Woods because let's face it, he gets more targets and he's more consistent, guys. 22, 8, 19 in his last three. Especially if you're playing Jared Goff. Load him up with some Robert Woods and maybe even Cooper Kupp. But we'll see. But Robert Woods, more consistent. I like consistency better. But if you want to take some stabs with Cooper Kupp, I don't blame you. But Robert Woods for me, guys. Kiki QT, 5.4K. That's actually a really good price. someone who, won't totally get you in the prison pocket. If he gets in the end zone, he's pretty good. 15, 10, 25 in his last three. Him and Cooks are the two options out there in Houston. So at 5'4", you can definitely get him in there. CD Lamb, 5.3K. Just when we thought we can write him off, he comes back on 7 targets, 20 fantasy points last week. Has a good matchup against Philly this week. And we all know that Dallas-Philly rivalry. So there should be a lot of good people to be had in this game, too. So Philly stacks, Dallas stacks. Get him in there at 5'3". Sammy Watkins also, 5K. Consistent between 3 to 6 targets a game. Now, if Tyreek Hill goes down, it's Sammy Watkins day, guys. So at 5K, you can definitely get him in there, guys. T. Higgins, no Tyler Boyd. So T. Higgins should be number 1. Now, I know there's no quarterback, right? But 4.7's really good value and a great matchup against Houston. As long as he gets double-digit fantasy points at 4.7, you're fine. Right now he's at 13%, so he's kind of chalky. But T. Higgins, not bad. Get him in there. Next up, Jalen Rieger, 4.6. So those Philly lines, you got to have some Jalen Rieger in there, and he's really cheap. 8 targets last week. Targets are going up, up, up. 12, 9, and 9. So if the quarterback's not running it in, look for Jalen Rieger, guys. Probably my favorite Philly wide receiver. 4.6K. Get him in there. Next up, are the Jets going to make it 2 in a row? We'll see. But Jamison Crowder's way too cheap at 4.5K. Way too cheap. Safe space Sam Darnold is playing. So we all know who his favorite receiver is. It's Jamison Crowder, guys. 8 targets last week, 13 fantasy points, 4.5K. That's really good. Get him in there, guys. Next up, Chad Henson. 4.4K is really intriguing. You want to talk about consistency, you guys. 14, 13, 18, 3 games, right? Double-digit fantasy points. And he's only 4.4K. He had 3 games here with 7 targets and then one with only 3, but he still got 14. And right now only at 3%. Probably Houston's third option, but still, man, he's getting it done. So don't you dare be sour and get some Chris Henson in there. He sounded like that dude from Catch a Predator. I didn't know he stopped doing that show and started playing football. So, but here he is. Chad Henson, guys. Chris Henson, 4.4K. He's going to go out there and say, have a seat. Next up, Darrell Mooney, 4K. Mitch is throwing the ball to him a little bit more lately. 5 targets in his last 2. 11, 17 fantasy points. Darrell Mooney at 4K is an absolute value. I think this is where you're going to win or lose this slate. I think it's going to be at wide receiver, guys. So there's a lot of good options and a lot of good cheap options. Even Greg Ward at 4K is not bad. Philly stack. 18 fantasy points last week on 5 targets. So if Greg Ward gets open downfield, you're looking really good for paying only 4K. Right now at only 2%, guys. Get them in there. And Calvin Ridley, if you got to get the opposite end of this game, 8.5K has been solid. 35, 29, 19. It really doesn't matter the matchup. He's getting anywhere from 12 to 14 targets a game. So at 8.5, you want to fade Tyreek Hill, you can go Calvin Ridley. Be a little different. But he's 27% owned right now, and Hill's 24. So Hill's a little bit less owned. So we'll see how that goes. Hollywood Brown at 5.7 should be ready to go. He was a full participant, so he should be good to go at 5.7. Again, a safe play. Not really a slate breaker, but 16, 13, 15, 19. So in the teens, right? 5.7K. Get him in there. Russell Gage also, this Atlanta stack, right? 5.1K. Consistency. Especially in his last 4 out of 5. 18, 19, 15, 6, 13, guys. Russell Gage, get him in there at 5.1K. Curtis Samuel, you guys know I always play him. With no Christian McCaffrey, he does everything. He's a running back. He's a wide receiver. He'll throw the ball. He does it all, guys. Curtis Samuel at 4.9K. Definitely, I think that's about a fair price. Always risky. Get him in there. Michael Gallup, also in consideration for 4.1K, 12, 4, 22. So, pretty consistent. If he gets open, which he should have no problem here, he can definitely crush this 4.1K price tag. He's on the field for 87% of the snaps, right now at 10%. So get him in there. And so with no Keenan Allen, guys, fire up Tyrone Johnson. Fire him up. He's only 4K. His ownership's probably going to skyrocket by tomorrow morning. 5 targets last week, 15 fantasy points. 7 before that, 18 fantasy points. So with no Keenan Allen, fire up Tyrone Johnson. So even more of a reason why I'm not going to play Herbert the Pervert. His number one receiver's out, but Tyrone Johnson, guys, hopefully his ownership stays low, but I doubt it will, but I'll pray it does because that's money in the bank at 4K and a great matchup too. And Washington, so their number one option is out. So fire up Cam Sims, 3.3K. He had 8 targets last week. McLaurin is out. So if you want to pay up, guys, for them Kansas City stacks, them expensive stacks, you can find value here. I mean, that's almost bare minimal. 3.3K for probably the number one option in Washington against Carolina. So get him in there. Jalen Guyton also gets a bump with no Keenan Allen. He's only 3.2K. 6 targets last week, 14 fantasy points. Get him in there. All right, I think that's going to do it for wide receiver. Let's go to tight end. All right, so Kelsey, yep, against Atlanta, ranked 27th in the league against tight ends, 8.5K. I don't have no problems paying up for Kelsey on this slate. Seeing is there's so much value at wide receiver, especially Logan Thomas too, right? No Terry McLaurin, so Logan Thomas, either number 1 or number 2 wide receiver, right? Him and Sims, 4.9K, really cheap. Right now it's 17%, as of Kelsey's in 27%. Had 15 targets last week, 26 fantasy points. Carolina's soft on tight ends too, ranked 22nd in the league. Get him in there. Noah Fant, great matchup against the Chargers, 4.8K. I don't know, only 11 targets last week, 21 fantasy points. Noah Fant is back. Get him in there, guys. For this Ram stack, if you want to stack up Tyler Higbee at 4K, he's coming on. Not very consistent, though. That's the only thing that scares me about him. 17, 5, 12. So his last 3 games, but he does have a 22 against Seattle. So, maybe take some stabs. I'm not really feeling great about it, but Austin Hooper has the best matchup this week, going up against them Jets guys, ranked dead last in the league to tight ends. They give it up to tight ends more than anybody. 3.5K is really cheap, guys. Coming off a 15-point fantasy game. If he gets that or more, I would not be surprised. Get him in there. Mark Andrews, too. Even with a tough matchup, he's 5.7K. You know what you're getting with Mark Andrews. Another one, he can easily get 2 touchdowns, guys. Right now at only 3% ownership. It's just that price point. It's just kind of hard to get to. But Mark Andrews, you can definitely get him in there with confidence. Jimmy Graham at 3.1K. You know, Jimmy Graham, it's either boom or bust, right? Jacksonville's ranked almost last in the league against tight ends. They're ranked 30th. So Jimmy Graham's always a red zone target. You just got to catch the damn thing. And he should be money at 3.1K. Only at 1% too. Next up, Zach Gertz is back in consideration because he had 7 targets last week. So I'd rather pay down for Ertz as opposed to Goddard. He's only 3.1K. If he's going to get 7 targets again, that's money in the bank, guys. Another one. He just got to catch him. So he's a little rusty. The rush should be gone by now. So Zach Ertz, you know what to say. Get him in there. All right. So let's go to, just real quick, we'll take a look at defenses here. I like the Rams defense against Seattle. The Rams defense is tough, man. Normally gets double-digit fantasy points, except for last week. The Colts against Pittsburgh. I mean, if Big Ben looks like he did last week, that might be a sneaky play because the Colts defense is really good. No. I mean, if you just want to punt a defense too, I don't see a problem with it. I wouldn't play the Falcons defense, but the Jets defense even could be sneaky against Cleveland. But Cleveland's looked great all year this year. Jaguars not bad. You know, Mitch is going to throw an interception or two. So yeah, you can pay down or pay up. This shouldn't be that hard, guys. And that's going to do it for the video, guys. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'd really appreciate it, guys. If you hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. And again, RIP, rest in peace, big homie. Luke Harper passed away. Former WWE wrestler, now with AEW, was with AEW. I got to meet him at WrestleMania. Very nice guy. Prayers go out to him and his family. Take that peaceful ride up to heaven there, big homie. Rest in peace, Brody. So I'm gonna say a prayer for everybody. God bless you. God bless your families. God bless your pets. Say it with me one time. Let's get this bread. Don't take shit from nobody. And don't forget, guys, dfsclub.com. Take advantage, take full advantage of these deals. 60% off monthly, 44% off 6 months, 53% off for the full year, guys. dfsclub.com. My name is Gabriel Skywalker. Thank you so much for watching. I'm out, guys. I'll see you in the NBA video. Take care.